Hi everyone, my name is Feng. Today I'm going to share with you the lesson plan on watercolor paintings using water control techniques. About the lesson, live demonstration of the watercolor painting techniques will be followed with practical exercises for the students. The lesson will be taught mainly using live watercolor painting demonstrations by virtual classroom and some presentation slides. The topic covered are four water control techniques, namely wet on wet, wet on dry, dry brush, and masking techniques. The class duration will be 90 minutes. The class size will be for 10 students, aged 8 to 9 years old, and the class profile will be for beginners. As for the learning outcome, the students will be required to complete a watercolor paintings demonstrating at least two of the four water control techniques taught during the lesson. After attaining the knowledge, they can then use them and apply them for other paintings. Digital classroom. Soft background music will be played once the teacher log in approximately 15 minutes before the lesson starts. Due to the small class size, the teacher will be able to mark the students' attendance by just viewing the students' screens once they have logged in. While waiting for the students to log in, the teacher will greet the students present and check with them and tell them to test their microphones and webcams and put up a like if all are working well. Students can also check with students if they can see the teacher through the virtual classroom screen. When all the students are present, they will be told to keep the video screen on throughout the lesson, use emoji, person raise hand at any time during the lesson so that the teacher can address their questions as soon as possible. Or perhaps type out the questions in the chat box so that the teacher can reply them during the lesson intervals. Building a sense of community. Due to the nature of the lesson where technical knowledge are imparted to the students, the teacher will be considered using the sage on the stage methodology. The learning portion of the lesson consists of observing the live demonstration of the water control techniques and the understanding of key information through the presentation slides. Midway through the 90 minutes lesson, a 5-minute short break will be allowed for the students. Once the lesson resumes, the teacher will engage the students in a question and answer session. They will be required to answer questions that the teacher posted in the chat boxes. Before the lesson, a list of painting materials will be provided for the students in advance. They will then need to prepare the list of items and then use them to demonstrate the techniques taught during the lesson. Digital tools. The lesson will be conducted mainly using the overhead camera, where different water control techniques will be demonstrated live in a step-by-step sequence. Wire headset with microphones will be used by the teacher throughout the lesson for better audio clarity. As the portrait of the teacher in the room environment will be shown on the online lesson, the room will ideally be illuminated by natural light. However, if it's not available, artificial light facing the teacher as well as the overhead camera is required to provide a better visual experience for the students. Avoid placing any light source behind the teacher that can cast a silhouette. Framing the visual is important as live demonstration could be fully captured within the camera lens boundaries. Stable and fast internet speed is required to avoid network disconnection as well as visual audio lags during the online lesson. This is important as large files transmitted over the network could be disrupted due to poor network connections. Consideration, feedbacks, and assessment. After each demonstration of the water control techniques by the teacher, students will be allowed 5 minutes to repeat the technique by painting them on the drawing paper and showing them on the screen for the teacher's assessment. A total of 4 techniques will be taught. At the last part of the lesson, the teacher will show a completed drawings that the students are to use the techniques taught earlier and apply them in their drawings. About 20 minutes will be allocated for them to complete the drawing. A final question and answer session will be used to conclude the lesson and to clear any doubts that the teachers and the students might have during the lesson. Lastly, students are required to provide a feedback during using the Google form. Thank you for listening.